Hopefully this is working. I don't know if anybody actually gets on. You can play it back and probably see me crash in OBS a few times. Seriously, the software I was using crashed like 5 times. I don't know. Every time they do an update to this software, it changes something, especially with the live streaming or whatever. What are you going to do? Hey, Laura. Hey, Mom. What's up, R? I wasn't going to, hopefully it's working. First of all, probably should make sure of that. Seriously, every time, I guess I need to do more lives. I know I need to do more lives, but they update the software I use probably like every 2 weeks. So it changes something in live and then it crashes. I don't know. It's stupid. Whatever. Software stuff. Anyway, you guys remember this sketch mine? Yeah, so we crawled back into this thing. You guys remember Seth had some misgivings about that. Well, understandable, I think. Anyway, we went all the way back into this thing. I didn't know we were going to be able to go that far. And it turned into something pretty awesome. It just kept going until we got... Oh, hold up. Yeah, that was pretty creepy. I really did think that was some... Yeah. It scared Seth, right? Like, he thought it was somebody. Anyway, we crawled all the way through this thing, and that's Seth, there's me, it's a 360 photo. We got to the... Oh, that was the one crosscut. If you guys watched the video, you remember me talking about how there was only one crosscut. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what happened there. This photo is kind of like optical illusion almost. It was a lot lower than what you're seeing there. That was like a couple feet tall. Anyway, we saw the crosscut. We kept going. Then we got to this spot. That was a little tricky. I'm sure you guys remember that. We had to crawl through the little, the collapsy part or whatever. Anyway, we got in there and we found this. I just want to show you guys that, like, outside of the video. That's what I brought out. This thing's really heavy. It's hard to hold one-handed. Hang on. So this is the minecart rail that we found. Let me get rid of the computer screen. Have more room. Yeah, so that's it. It weighs over 25 pounds. I weighed it. I can't remember what it is. But if you can think of a regular minecart rail, you can see how it lines up. No, this is iron, I think. Straight iron, straight steel, whatever they make, railroad tracks out of, this is railroad track. But you can see, like, that's the top of it. So these guys, I'll go back to this photo real quick and I'll show you what I mean. So, hold up. Yeah. That is this. They used it all through the mine. right? Like that's what they were using these for. I guess they had so many of these that they were just using them for supports. That's how this got broke, because that whole back part, I I guess it caved in so bad and so violently that, I mean, it shattered. That's what I was talking about in the video. Like, that's a lot of force. It blows my mind. I mean, when you think about that kind of like catastrophic just amount of force that was put on this solid piece. I mean, you can see this thing. Like, even this little, I mean, this isn't big, right? And it's almost 30 pounds. I mean, just the amount of weight that was, and pressure that was put. I don't know. I don't know how it happens. But it certainly happened, and it happened to this, and that's why it's in pieces. So you can see how they constructed that. I don't know. I thought that was cool. That's why I brought it out. That's why I carried it all the way down the trail. Not every day you get to see something like that. Yeah, that's us crawling back through the tight spot. Yeah, that's what we were kind of wondering, Laura. Like, I mean, that much of, like, if it was that bad, right, and that sudden, I don't know. I mean, there's only one crosscut, and they did all that work. I mean, you can see how wide it was that they cut all the way back. So I looked through what little bit of research I could do. I couldn't find any news articles about anything that happened there, but I mean, there's so many old stories and old news articles from that area, and it's not really like really well documented. So I mean, it could have just happened and they just closed it and left. I don't know. Maybe they came in to work one morning and saw it happen. Like, it didn't happen when they were there. Yeah, it's definitely a piece of history. Or it's unknown history. Like, I think it just happened and they just closed the mine and just didn't really say anything to anyone. Maybe, I don't know. Well, something happened. That's for sure. Somebody spent a lot of money cutting that hole, and then something bad happened. Anyway, that's us coming out and then all the way out. Oh yeah, thanks, Mom. That's the video. So we kept, yeah, we got to this part, right? I don't know what the deal is with this. Maybe people lived here a long time ago before it was state forest, and I don't know if that was a grave or not. I mean, it really did look like one. Like, they had flowers and everything, like right up there underneath the tree. It's really bizarre. But it's at a 45-degree angle. It's running the tree. Oh yeah, thanks, Mom. Thumbs up. Like stuff, whatever. Subscribe things. Hey, Diane. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that was. I mean, there were several. I mean, there were obvious headstones there. Like, somebody was burying people there. Maybe it was like a thing where they used to live there, and then after everybody like either moved or got old and died, they eminent domain went to the state of Tennessee, because this is definitely inside Tennessee. I don't know. Maybe they buried somebody there. I just can't imagine having a grave at a 45-degree angle. That's weird. At least for us, it's weird nowadays. I don't know if that's like a thing they did back then or what, but it was bizarre. And there's the two modern headstones. I think the two over here were like the parents, I guess, and then this was the younger guy. This is 1960 to 2001. I didn't really see any dates on this other one. It looked like parents, though. So maybe these people lived there at one point on this flat area, maybe before it was industrial. I don't know. But then it got kind of strange. I mean, somebody put all these cordon blocks up there. We couldn't figure out where those came from. Those look more like industrial stuff, like as far as we could tell. But then they had, you know, the "We love and miss you" and all the messages on it. So we go further back into the woods. You guys saw this. Then we get to this thing, this little underneath. If you guys saw the video, I'm sure you remember the monolith. That thing. Yeah, right underneath of it, there was like a tunnel. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal with that was. It didn't look like it had collapsed. Still don't. Yeah, we find ourselves in some pretty strange situations, Laura. Sometimes. We still don't know what this is. And that's one thing I guess I kind of wanted to do the live about, because we had an idea. All right, so there's obviously no way into this thing. Like, there's no door, there's no ladder. I mean, there were spots for screws, like that somebody had anchored something into it, but it wasn't like a ladder. Like, it wasn't, you know how a ladder is, 2 points, right? At certain intervals. It wasn't like that. It was just like random holes, or basically anchor points for screws, randomized. So there's no way in. So we had the idea of getting, if we can get a rope ladder, okay, we can get a rope ladder, and we can tie some, because we just want to get to the top. Like, we want to look over the, we want to look into it. Like, we want to look in, see, right? Like, this whole idea. Tie some rope on the rope ladder. Tie something heavy on the other end of the rope. Throw that loose end of the rope over the thing. Secure it to a large tree, okay, on this side. Have that person pull on the rope. One person over here pushes up on the rope ladder, and then tie it off. Now, not only do you have the rope holding the rope ladder when it gets to the top, right? Then you can tie the rope ladder on this side, right? It's also got the pressure. Right, Laura. Bear with me. It's not just got the rope, okay? It's got the pressure from, because the rope's going to be like pointed down, right? So it's going to have pressure on the two top parts, the two top edges. So, I mean, it's pretty secure, you know. Maybe you do two layers of rope, tie two, you know. That'd probably be better, actually. Yeah, well, that's probably the way we do it. Then you have it tied off to 2 trees, and then you just climb up the rope ladder. Now, here's the thing. I have a theory about this thing, and I think it's possible that it could, and I was just thinking about this the other day. It could be an elevator. It could be an elevator shaft that goes into a mine. We've seen that before. Like, legit, like that. It's the same size as a freight elevator. And we've literally found, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, this is like 2 years ago. Seth and I went and I found the elevator shaft, right? And then I took him back and we like got on the edge of it, looked down. It's basically water. The elevator was at the top. There's a freight elevator into a mine straight down hundreds of feet into the earth. So we have seen that before. And I mean, if you really look at this thing, it's kind of about the right size as a freight elevator. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty creepy if it's a shaft, Mom. Like, I mean, the first one we found was creepy, right? Like, looking down into this thing, you know, you're looking hundreds of feet into the earth where nobody's been for decades. But if you think about it, I mean, if you really look at this thing, it's about the right size as a freight elevator. Now, obviously, the top of it's gone, right? Like they scrapped. If it is that, they scrapped the elevator, they scrapped the housing, everything. right? Like all the top stuff. It's the only thing left is probably the shaft and the maybe the supporting stuff inside of it. Maybe. We're not, I mean, if it's an Laura, if it's an elevator, like I mean, man, that means there's gonna be a ladder. Okay, well, we're not gonna we're not gonna climb down the ladder, right? Like, yeah, if there is one, I mean, it'd be pretty rusted. But I mean, we're just gonna look over the edge just to see. I may be wrong. It may just stop right there. I mean, it may be nothing in there. Oh, we're not gonna get impaled. I mean, even if it even is an elevator shaft, like imagine how rusted like any ladder metal would be. Like I wouldn't rely on a metal ladder to really work in that situation if we wanted to even go down into it. Now, it's probably going to be flooded, even if it isn't. I mean, the last elevator shaft we found was flooded, but still pretty cool. Maybe there could be a tunnel off to the side. Yeah, Diane, it is. Um, those were right there, and this backside had a mural painted on it. It looked like they were painting the waterfall. The waterfall is, you know, in this area, the big cascading water. It looked like they were trying to paint that. I don't know. It was hard to tell, but it definitely had somebody had painted trees and they put like the handprints on it. It's just bizarre. Laura won't be satisfied till you look. No, no, not really. Yeah, I mean, we gotta know. Like, it's just weird. Like, why? How you gonna go out in the woods and just build a concrete block and what? Like, and do what? What is it? You know? Like, if it's a piece of machinery, if you think about it, like, if it's anything else other than an elevator shaft, like, they would need a way to get into it. Or there would be stairs, like, there'd be anchor points for stairs, something like that. I think it's an elevator shaft, personally. And I think the, all the structures that we saw in this area, I think it was like a big deal kind of mine back in the day. Like, maybe not even that old, especially if it had an elevator shaft that big. Like, that's kind of expensive, right? So that's what we're thinking. And I mean, rope ladder is a pretty legit way to do it. Like, it's safe as it gets. It's safer than propping up a ladder to the side of it, I think, because that ladder could fall. At least the rope ladder is secured with rope on the other side. I don't know. I would trust the rope ladder more. A drone would be awesome. A drone would definitely, yeah, that would definitely answer the question, right? You just kind of fly it in there, have a look. Don't have one of those, at least not yet. Maybe someday. But then again, you know, it's kind of, I want to look. Like I don't want the drone to just. I want to go look. I want to see it. Like it's fine. The drone can see it, but I want to see it. Laura, it really is amazing that they're. What I get from this whole area, like Middlesboro, and this is what I've been told by local people. Even Seth agreed with this. That whole area, like Middlesboro, that town, was supposed to be bigger than it is. It was supposed to be like the same size as Nashville. That's what they were, I guess, kind of planning or thinking that it was going to be. It obviously never turned into that. So all these companies and they all built, like people moved in and built all these buildings and companies and houses. And then, like, it just kind of wasted away. That's what I'm getting from the story, anyway. Exactly, Diane. We want to see it. Like, I mean, drone's cool and everything. Like, that would definitely help. But what? I mean, the drone. I don't know. I want to see too. You can kind of see the painting here a little bit. It's really faded, but once you get up close and then back up, you can see the way they painted the trees and stuff. That was a hole inside of it I was trying to see, but it was totally clogged up. You can't see anything through there. Anyway, that's the wet, crazy day. Right, Diane? Exactly. Well, you guys will get to see it no matter what. Even if I had a drone, you still get it. Yeah, that got really cold really quick. That actually was, that end there, man. Like, it's one thing to be wet. Like, I don't mind rain. But when it comes to rain and wind, low temperatures like that, it's kind of dangerous. Mom, you know what I'm talking about. You guys had that experience in the Smoky Mountains. Laura, yeah, it's actually still happening. There are a lot of like old coal camps in towns that, well, there's nothing left basically now, but it's even still happening today. Like you look at a town like Lynch, right? Like Lynch, Kentucky. I mean, it's kind of on the way out and has been for a while now. It's just the nature of the beast, where the government is regulating coal out of business or whatever, so the towns are going to go with it. I mean, that was the main deal for a lot of these places. Kind of the whole point, reason they existed. All right, so this is Fork Ridge. This is the last thing I wanted to show you guys. You were probably watching the last video we did. We got to the very end. Past the weird door thing. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what that was all about. This is where it starts to get watery, and then it just keeps going. Oh. Yeah. So from what we could tell, it went left, we think, and it also might go right. There's a lot more to see back there, and when we're walking through this stuff, like it's pretty dangerous, and the mud's really hard to walk through, really hard. Hey, Sandra, welcome. Thanks. So it's hard to, you can't see where you're putting your feet, and the person in front can, like whoever's walking in front, because obviously you can tell that the water is crystal clear. But the person, like Seth, was behind me, and by the time I walk past it, he can't see where he's putting his feet at all. Like because it's totally silted out. Once you put your foot down, everything on the bottom comes back up. So, but it stays, like it doesn't go into water, right? Like it looks like it goes back quite a ways. Now, the next two videos coming up, you guys are going to see. At the end of the video, I think I mentioned that I was wanting to get a boat. Well, I got a boat. Okay. And it's pretty awesome. We did a test run, which you're going to see pretty soon. It wasn't really a test run. I mean, it's a legit mine that we went into. Legit flooded mine. It wasn't this one. We're not going to this one first. Okay. But it was awesome. You're going to see that probably I think it's actually the next two videos. It's kind of like a 2-part deal, right? And it was pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. It went back a ways. We don't know how far back this one goes, but it's a really cool like Intex Challenger 2 like inflatable boat, and it only weighs like 16 pounds. So we're gonna take that back, and we're gonna go into this one. We wanted to do it in a more modern flooded mine, and you guys, it's pretty small, Laura, and it's like two people. The thing about it is, I mean, it was I got it for half off on Amazon. It was like $116 boat. I mean, it's not like cheap pool rubber or anything. It's made by Intex. It's like a Explorer craft. It was the smallest one they had, and 16 pounds is enough. But because if you think about it, I get a big boat, then I got to carry it into these places, and you guys know how accessible some of these places are, as in not. So I do have a kayak, Laura. You can't fit them. Like, first of all, you got to carry it. right? Like my kayak's a hard shell kayak. It's not inflatable, so it would be impossible to get into places like this, and carrying it that far would be terrible. I mean, it's pretty heavy. Right, Sandra? Oh yeah, thanks. No problem. Welcome. Um, yeah, Sandra, that would have been awful. Don't, please don't. But if you have gotten back that far, make sure you get video of what's around the corner because we haven't been there yet. But yeah, what we did is we took the boat. So Seth got one, right? It's going to get here Wednesday, so he's got his. I mean, because it is a small boat, and we want to be able to like have maybe more people go with us too, and have more room. That way, we can kind of see more stuff. And we want to be able to bring our backpacks in the boat too, because when it's just Seth and I in the boat, we can't bring any more stuff. I mean, they're only designed to handle like 400 pounds. So, but yeah, they're small enough to get into places, and we air them up. And we're going to definitely see what's to the left right here. And then we're going to go right. We're going to see if we can go right. I don't know how far back that goes to the right, because, I mean, the outside of the mountain somewhere over here. We're going to see if we can do that. And now that we got a boat or boats, there are others. I think, Laura, I think some of it is spring fed. I think a lot of this is rainwater just over the years, because you guys have seen it on the videos, how they try to pile the entrances up and then they erode. Well, it's kind of like a funnel. It's cool that they erode because we can get into them, but at the same time, it acts as a funnel. So when it rains, all the water just flows into the mine. So I think there's a lot of that. I think a lot of this is rainwater. And then, of course, you do have groundwater, right? Like, that's a thing. They have to constantly pump out mines. It's like a thing that they have to do. So both, probably. Hey, Wyatt. Didn't even see you there, man. Welcome. But yeah, that's the plan. And we've got another one that was right across the road from the submerged mine that we went into. It's in the next video, the next two videos. And then we've got another submerged beyond past this one. We've got another one in Lynch. It's actually right across the road from Portal 31, which is like a tourist mine. Like, they take you into a mine, you get to see, like, you know, it's like a tourist thing, right? Like, they take you on these little trolleys or whatever. I don't know. I've never actually done it. I've just seen pictures of people doing it. It was funny because Seth was like, we should go take the tour version, the Portal 31, like the tourist version, and be like, oh my God, this is a mine. We've never been in a mine before. I don't know, stupid, whatever. But yeah. Yeah, like, Wyatt, you are famous, man. You know that. But the so Portal 31 in Lynch is the commercial version, the tourist version. We're right across from Portal 31 is Portal 30. It's wide open and it's totally flooded. And I've actually walked up to it, looked into it. It's massive. I mean, if you've ever been to like Washington, D.C., the subways there, it's that size. The entrance. So, hey, Carmen. Thanks. Welcome. So that's what we're looking at doing. The problem with the one at the Portal 30 in Lynch is it's right downtown. Oops, that's me. I don't want to do that. It's right downtown. So I don't know how we get into that. I mean, it's wide open, right? Like, there's no gate. So maybe they just don't really think that people will go float a mine. I don't know. There's no signs. Yeah, Carmen, I was talking. I was showing them support beam that I found, and I don't know. I was talking about the last few videos or whatever. But yeah, that's the plan. I might have another one. I'm gonna go check it out tomorrow. It may be flooded and very floatable as well. So yeah, that's the idea. Anyway, I got to get a rope ladder, obviously. So what we're gonna do too. We already got the boat, so we're gonna do that. So now we just got to get the rope ladder. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to show you guys. Just kind of ideas that I had, right? Things we're going to do or are in the process of doing. The next two videos, you're not going to want to miss them. The whole boat thing, it's a lot of fun, man. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's pretty cool. Exactly, Sandra. No lock gate. Like, there's not even any signs. I mean, it's downtown, but it's downtown Lynch, Kentucky. Okay, it's not like a bustling metropolis. So I don't know. That's how I see it. No lock gate, man. No signs. You know what? It's fair game. I mean, it's sitting right there. It's wide open. What are you gonna do? They didn't want me in there. They should have locked it up. I mean, they honestly, they probably don't think people are going to go in there because the water's pretty deep. I mean, it's like 3 feet deep, and they're like, "Yeah, people aren't going to walk into 3 feet of water." Yeah, they will. There are some that will, apparently, or just get a boat. Anyway, that's all I got. Yeah, the next two videos, like I said, don't miss them because we got boats, and it's actually pretty funny. You know, we're not used to doing that kind of stuff. It's been a long time since I was on a freaking boat of any kind. But the boats I'm used to have motors, you know. Yeah, thanks, Laura. Thanks all you guys for showing up too. Appreciate it. It's awesome. Thanks for the support, as always. You guys always know that. I'm always really thankful for any support. Obviously, really small channel. Still small to this day. Probably not gonna go viral or anything too soon, so no worries there. But yeah, that's the idea. Thanks for coming in, all you guys. Thanks for saying hi. Thanks for watching the videos and all that good stuff. Always appreciate it. But yeah, that's all I got. Should have a new video out maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. Hopefully, I don't know. It depends on how busy, how much we actually do this weekend. So I've got a lot of video to edit. Obviously, I always have a lot of video to edit. So I don't know. You'll see the boat pretty soon. We named it USS Floaty Boat, by the way. Just seemed appropriate. I don't know. Yeah, thanks you guys. All right. I'm going to go edit more video. Good stuff. And then this weekend, I'm going to try and find more water mines, or at least some kind of something that we can get into. And now that we got a boat, we got a lot more options. Anyway. Oh, hi, Raylan. Tell Raylan I said hi. Thanks, Mom. Hey, Paper Crafts. Welcome. Oh, yeah, Sandra. Imagine, like, before you go, before I get rid of it, that's one thing I've always thought of, right? Like having a cave on your own property, having a mine on your own property, though. I've tried so hard to find property on this, or a mine on this property, because if I found one, man, like, you better believe I would build that thing up. Like, that would be awesome. Especially, I mean, if you have a cave on your own property, that's pretty cool. Unless it's like a really big cave, and then you're gonna have people like me trying to get into it, which might be good. It might get annoying. I don't know. Guess it depends on who you are. But yeah, you definitely would find a way in, Sandra. All right. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. I'll see you in the next video.